In this video, I'm going to cover how I'm gaining weight to build muscle and why and how you might employ the same strategy. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal and I'm all about helping women over the age of 40 lose weight and get in shape. But today, for the first time ever, I'm talking about deliberately gaining weight. This is new territory for me, so I wanted to share my progress with you and give you some tips and pointers if you want to employ this strategy yourself. I'm going to be covering the strategies that I use to gain weight and build muscle, how it's actually making me feel. I'm going to give you a physique update and some of the numbers. I'm going to give you some of the reasons why you might employ this strategy yourself. So why am I gaining weight to build muscle? Back 7 weeks ago, I'd been in a calorie deficit for almost a year and a half, I think it was. So I got to the point 7 weeks ago, the gyms had opened back up. I'm really keen to put on a significant amount of muscle in my legs and glutes area in particular, because I would really like to compete in a category called wellness, but it requires really well developed glutes and legs. And really the most effective way to do that is to go into a calorie surplus and actually reduce your cardio and really focus on getting heavier and heavier in the gym. And now that the gyms have sort of opened back up in the UK, I thought it's kind of like a fantastic opportunity to have a go at doing this. So my goal is to build bigger glutes and legs ready for competition season, which kind of starts in the spring of 2021. Why should you do it? Why should you look at going into a calorie surplus, and what are the kind of benefits of it? If you are looking to build a significant amount of muscle, going into a calorie surplus is the best way of doing that. If you're either on maintenance or in a calorie deficit, it's actually much harder to build significant muscle. I've done it in a calorie deficit, but you're going to see much more significant results if you go into a calorie surplus. So some of the reasons that you might consider going into a calorie surplus to build muscle are: you've already got quite lean, so you're not looking to drop any more body fat. That was me. So it's like, where do you go from there? Well, you can build more muscle or you can stay as you are, can't you? You might want to consider doing this if you've been trying to build muscle in a calorie deficit or perhaps on maintenance and it's just not working that well. And when this can happen, got quite a few years training experience behind you, it's much harder to build muscle. And then the other thing is there's just some women who really want to gain weight, and it might be like me. You're looking to make some progress in your lower body. You're maybe not happy with your glutes. You might want to build your upper body. So if there's a specific area of your body that you're actually wanting to build up, or you just want to gain some weight overall, you'd want to consider employing the strategy of getting into a calorie surplus to build muscle. And as a side note, if you're looking to actually build muscle at the same time as dropping fat, I have got a video and I will link that in the description, and that is absolutely possible. It's just that normally you wouldn't gain as much muscle as you would if you're going into a calorie surplus. And I also have a program called Lean and Strong, which is exactly about gaining muscle at the same time as losing fat. If you want to find out more about that program, I'll put the link in the description. So how do you do this? Well, how I have done this is I know that my maintenance level calories are now around 2,000 calories. And so what I've done is increased those calories on my leg training days, my leg and glute training days, to 2,500 calories. Now, some people will go higher. I'm just looking to see where my body is and how it responds with those calories, but I might add some more in as time progresses on, depending on how I'm getting on. So what I have been doing with my upper body is I've only been eating on calorie maintenance because I've had a problem with my shoulder, and so I wasn't able to push significantly hard on my upper body days. But now that's improving. I'm actually going to go into a surplus on my upper body days. So we're looking at 2,300 calories, because you just don't need as many calories to build your upper body as you do your lower body. I'm going to talk a little bit now about how it's making me feel. I've actually found it really tough, and this psychologically has been quite a tough experience for me, much tougher than actually losing weight. Purposely gaining weight is really hard for women. In our culture, generally, we want to be thinner and slimmer, don't we? Or we want to be looking at the scale weight going down. And what I'm doing is looking at the scale weight going up and then looking in the mirror and seeing that I've actually gained body fat. Because if you're going to gain weight and gain muscle, you have to be prepared that you're going to gain a little bit of body fat as well. The logical side of my brain is telling me I'm doing everything right, but the emotional side of my brain has been finding it really, really difficult. So I have been actually sending pictures and videos to a friend of mine to just take a look and check that I am actually doing what's called a lean bulk rather than a dirty bulk, which is just, you know, when you just gain a horrendous amount of body fat. And so she's been checking up on my pictures for me. With that in mind, I'm going to run through the numbers now. So when I started this journey, I was 53 kilos, which is about 116 pounds. I've now gone up to 56 kilos, which is about 123 pounds. And that was 7 weeks ago. So I've kind of gained about a pound a week, which is about right. We should be looking at 0.5 to a pound a week in weight gain. In terms of my measurements, and I'll put some pictures up here, I've gone up from a 25.5-inch waist 7 weeks ago to a 27-inch waist. So that's not too bad. And I've gone up from a 36-inch hip to a 38-inch hip. So looking at all those measurements and the weight gain, that's absolutely fine. I've talked about my calories being 2,500 on leg training days, and then maintenance of around 2,000 calories on my upper body and rest days. And then the macro split to that, so this might be what you're interested in: 170 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbohydrates, and about 55 grams of fats. So that's my training day macros. The carbs are quite high. I might have to take them higher as time goes on. And what's happened is I've been able to lift a much more significant amount of weight, you know, particularly on those leg days when those calories are higher. I've gone up to a personal best of 100 kilo squat at the moment, and then I'm doing around a 280 kilo leg press, which, you know, I've never done before. So that was also my goal, is to be able to lift a significant amount of weight during this time which I'm doing this build, because that's really important that I'm using that extra energy to actually train harder and lift heavier, and that's what's going to see muscle growth. So to summarize, if you're going to sort of implement this strategy, it's about going into a calorie surplus, sticking at the same protein and fat intake, but increasing your carbohydrates, and that's what's going to give you that energy to be able to lift heavier in the gym. And that's really important if you're going to do this, is that you use that additional carbohydrate in your system to lift heavier. And then the other thing is, and this is what I've been doing, is just taking that cardio down, so not doing so much cardio. I'm doing about an hour to an hour and a half a week, which is a little bit of HIIT on the stair climber and then circuit training. Do let me know in the comments section if this is something that you're thinking of taking up, or if you've got any questions about it, and if you'd like to see a further update further down the line, you know, because I'm only 7 weeks into this. When I'm envisaging to see much more significant progress is probably around 12 weeks in or more. Do give this video the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to get the bell notification so you get more videos like this. And also give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok, where I do daily updates with tips and information about getting in shape and losing weight over 40.